"Hi, I'm Colonel," comes the hard accentuated vote of a miniature, slim man widening a so-manicured brush in length bejeweled fingers. In a person caked in whites and in red-colored labia, length dark, counterfeit, wool, a war cap and flower pajamas, he doesn't see lot love a regimental official. Is how a true war name? So, you can urge me. Boris. He says in an overdone yearn. No, Colonel is penalty. The is the extremely colorful artist of the extremely colorful electric funk pop team Sado Opera, the personality-described odd productivity gang relying now in Berlin, but in cradle in St. Petersburg, Russia. The gang is done up of Colonel, the mystery perma-sunglassed Katya, drum nasty and bass player Licky. We encounter at the Queen's Inn in Brighton wherever they are manufacturing their UK opening at the large Flea Fest, that showcases the top new piece of music of About the Planet. Her hour at first period always in the UK and he's cute breathtaking, says Katya following a circle of position show beers is driven to the spreadsheet. To be fair, he's a essence for us as Russians, we yet include to struggle a bit to get permit to trip. Colonel continues, fare to get the visa was a very length trial and we couldn't be certainly before the late. We had already purchased tickets and fare a few days up we got there, we acquired our passports in a visa. I was panicky. Katya adds, we had to show how we are who we are and we do which we do, how we are very making piece of music. We had to go via it all while we attached foreign painter visa for Germany, so we knew a slight bit on the office work, but yet it was tense. While it comes to world journey, the actual sticking out spot for the gang is how they do not trust in the conception of national borders. It frustrates us, we trust in a planet wherever all can dwell along and go where they wish, we are blissful and lucky how we are relying in Berlin so generally in Europe, we can go everywhere to encounter lovers, brothers and sisters readily, but the UK was more than hard. The gang shaped in St. Petersburg, driven along by a loving of Duke and classical fright piece of music loved George Clinton's Parliament. In their Kiss Him style colored many faces and shocking phase shows, they came to the focus of clubhouse promoters, though they were frequently censored for their campaign position versus homophobic and misogynist. It was already hard, we had to person censor though of the clubhouse promoters, personality censorship is as well really overall in Russia, says Colonel, they didn't wish to put our posters up. Several of them were policy he's real, but they were unloving. Which we did in the shows and parties in St. Petersburg was to propose which was lacking. It was a odd side, not a main direct topic and not precisely a gay clubhouse since down there are gay clubs in St. Petersburg and Moscow. Thou can go to a gay clubhouse but you can't say on it. Which we did was offer a area to the odd society in St. Petersburg to hover out along and bring together human beings who requirement the area. Time homosexual is not illicit in Russia, it a penal crime to publicize acts of homosexual, bisexual or transgenderism. Colonel continues, Russia is love a nation of islands, islands of liberty but just slight islands in an sea of terror and loath. Katya adds, of the reasons why we begun the gang was to bring together such complementary-minded permissive human beings, to recall them they are not one of year, it was hard occasionally but down there are yet human beings in Russia who trust in loving and they supporting us. End of YouTube position by Sado Opera with driving to the Deutsche Equity. Sado Opera include B inhabitant gang of Wild Renata, one of Berlin's largest infamous nightclubs. Their savage repute gained them a spline on US talk show Army Conan O'Brien's TV specific on Berlin. At first we attended Berlin to sip and side, but while we came behind to St. Petersburg, we requested to give the ghost as so but a pair of times the police force were not so lucky, says the Colonel. Katya adds, a pair of times Boris was stopped in front line of the clubhouse to one of our shows. He agrees, affirmative, they didn't love my do-up. In spite creature territorially remote of the stage in their hometown, the gang say they try to hold shut links in youthful human beings and fighting LGBT artists down there. We try to stake which we are privileged to include. We do events attractive odd artists of Moscow and St. Petersburg to offer them area to execute in Berlin, and several times a year we army parties. Colonel adds, we aware how it feels to be a youthful painter and go to a town love Berlin. Of year you requirement contacts, so while we include brothers and sisters above, we are lucky to assist them since he's nature. Human beings helping us, and we wish to assist human beings. The gang routinely round Europe, but do they foresee a day while they can go behind to their household nation out of terror of retaliation? Unfazed? Affirmative, if they include safety, says Katya. Several clubs are courageous quite to hold departure in such a occasion, and are outdoor-minded and welcome queers artists, yet the mob is yet more than confined. One chant we include is named We Are Strays, and we chant on cats and dogs. She smiles. This choir goes meow and bow wow, and we ever promote human beings to chant on in us. But while we were game in Moscow and St. Petersburg, a lot of human beings were frightened to do it. They mind perhaps it was a open secret gay alarm of several type.